There it is backwards. Sorry. One of my Archangel Michael slewing Scorpio. The scorpion. Our lower self. And raising the pure white dove in us. Like a phoenix from the fire. Through conscious willpower. My name Jarrett means spear. My name Liam means helmet. And my last name is a name of a bardic priest from Ireland, famous one. I'm probably his reincarnation. I have the chart pulled up. I use time passages. I got Egyptian oracle cards, and I have the Aquarians deck. Let's talk about today is Friday, the 9th of June, which is the 6th month. This is the 6 and the 9, which is a symbol for Cancer, the summer solstice, and 6 is Venus and 9 is Mars, together in sex. And we have Venus and Mars together in Leo. But Venus is squaring the nodes right now. So if she's squaring the north node, it's going to be a square to the south node. So whenever it's called a T-square or grand cross. And that, my friend, is a karmic, fated, past life, future life occurrence. If you have the node squared in your chart, that is going to be something, usually in a past life, that you didn't do, that you came here in this one to do. Or if you don't believe in past lives, earlier in your life. So this could be, squares are action. They're in the nature of Mars. They're a 90-degree angle, and 9 is Mars. It's the red planet. The fiery Aries and the deep darkness of Scorpio. It's that light that is in that dark. And it's the planet that brings us out to Jupiter, the king, and Saturn, the high priest. Warrior. In Aries, it's a warrior going out. In Scorpio, it's a warrior going into the psychological depths. It's in charge of the 8th house of sex and death. But it's the ego death. The 8th house is, you can look to your 8th house and I'll show you how you die. I got, and your 6th house a little bit too, because your 6th house is your health, your physical health, together with your 2nd house a little bit. Okay, so we have a square to the nodes going on with Venus in Leo, squaring the north node in Taurus, squaring the south node in Scorpio. This is an act of what? Of love. Or it could be a conflict of love or in relationship over money, resources, and unhealed past trauma. That's that Taurus Scorpio axis where our nodes have been for the past almost 18 months. They last in each sign for an average of 18 months. 18 is Sadiq. It's the moon card in the tarot. And when you could master the moon, which is the foundational sphere on the Sephirotic tree of life, that's the foundation, that's the stone that we have to chisel into an altar by using our proper use of our imagination, which is likened to feminine circle, the compass, the square, the masculine 9 of Mars, which is willpower, action. So we want to take those together and balance them. One way that we see that done is squaring the cube, and that's done through architecture in a cube base of a building with a dome top. The dome is feminine, circle feminine, square male. That's just the way it is. I mean, look at a woman, she's got more curves. Look at cancers, the home of the moon. Cancers always have, they're in charge of the breasts. Usually they have big breasts and booties. Booties, more so. Tauruses can just be kind of chunky. It's food, it's eating. It's also singing, often good singers. Adele, Taurus, kind of chunky, good singer. You can't make this stuff up. If you plant a seed at a certain time of year, it's going to look different, have different characteristics. We are of the earth. I don't know why I feel the need to defend astrology all the time. Because if you're watching this, you're probably not. Sometimes I get a little skeptical still when I'm not doing it. But when I'm doing it, and practice, you have to practice. It's a practice. It's not just something that you just study. You gotta live it. And when I'm not living good, I'm drinking too much alcohol, not getting centered, taking time out for myself, and I'm not paying. I don't. That's when I'm not really studying astrology. Enough about me. Today we are on the 18th degree of Gemini. 18, also the number of the moon. 18, the 1 to the 8 go together, give us 9, which is 9 months of pregnancy. 9 moons, which is the Virgo card in the tarot deck, which is the virgin who gets pregnant, which is the Hermit card in the tarot deck, holding up a lamp in the dark. That's a baby inside a womb getting ready to come out after spending some time in introspection. So today could be Sadiq, the moon card. It has to do with 2 paths. The path of the wild, untrained wolf, and then on the other side of severity, the trained dog, domesticated dog. And then we have a crayfish that is coming up out of the waters onto land, onto a path, onto the sunrise. So it's a new beginning on a new path, but we have to choose wisely. The one who chooses wisely and lives that life, balancing the moon, the emotions, and using that foundation as energy force that's controlled. That's the Sadiqum, a Sadi, from the letter Sadiq, which is a master of the moon, a moon magician, which is Somebody controlling their being emotionally mature, not letting an emotional trauma be the source of self inflicting pain. The crayfish is a symbol of Cancer as well, the home of the moon, who is also the chariot. It was the chariot constellation before crab because it's at the top of the summer solstice and then it's going out. It's crowned and then it's going out from the kingdom. Cardinal water coming out of the womb. Well, right now we are in the womb talking to the other person in our head. Gemini is social skills. Third house, Gemini ruled, is your early educational experience. Siblings. I got Pisces as the ruler of my third house. I have two Pisces sisters. I'm right in between them. Speaking of Pisces, the moon just entered into Pisces, and the moon will be in Pisces for the majority of this weekend until Sunday. And so normally that would be kind of a nice, dreamy, artistic, floating down the lazy river of our imagination, Pisces weekend. But we have Saturn there. And this is squaring the sun in Gemini. But then we also have Mercury in Taurus, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. And then we have Jupiter in Taurus about to sextile Saturn in Pisces. So there's some beneficent energies. So instead of that Saturn being instead of Saturn being an opposing adversarial energy, like telling you to get a reality check, it could be using Saturn to create our dreams and to bring them into physicality. Not just to dream about something, but to actually manifest it, to bring it into Earth. With the North Node in Taurus, it is asking us to set things into Earth. To plow the field, to weed out all the weeds, and to aerate the soil, breathing new fresh life onto it, welcoming a new breath of fresh air into our lives. Gemini, the lungs. The cherubim, Cupid, strike us with your arrow that we might have a filter of love to look out through this world in. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight to my lover's heart. For me, nobody but me. Cupid, please hear my cry and let your arrow fly straight to my lover's heart. For me. 6 plus 9 equals 15. 15 is the devil card. Capricorn. There's that Capricorn Cancer axis. The axis of life, Cancer, and death. Capricorn. The womb, Cancer. The tomb, Capricorn. And the womb is the tomb, and the tomb is the womb. Bada boom, boom, boom. We got 2 cards. So that means that we're going to need to pull a third. Because 3 is a completion. So let's see what we have here. Card number 1 that wants to talk to us, Z. Z is a finality. Z is a 3. Z is a good meditational sound. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. We'll do a Z, and we'll see how it makes us feel. It's a seal, like T. T, the tav, the cross, or the X. That's a seal, the finality. T, but this is a Z. 1, 2, 3. Z, 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 Z. It's similar to the Sadiq, Sadi, Z. Z. The E is life. That's life frequency. E. That even plane. E is me. E is we. That where E. That's one of the name of the oldest gods is E. Ea. It turned into L. Saturn. Chronos. Time. E times. And then X. Another seal. Another finish. You put an X on the box, you finished it. W, X, Y, and Z. We have the Y in the middle. I just dropped all my cards on the ground. I think it's saying that it is. Oh, look what I picked up. E and P. P is like the mouth. All right, so we have saying it's past time to seal something up. Say, okay, that part of our life is over. Let us mark that box. Been there, done that. How many kicks from a mule does it take for us to realize that that action is giving us the consequence that we don't want? That action has that consequence that comes with it. Mainly tearing us apart from our royal we, that union with the divine that comes through living a life of charity. Well, we got finished off with Jupiter upside down. So it looks like Saturn, which is bringing me to this sextile between Jupiter and Saturn that's happening. Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Taurus. It's really fruitive through a healthy coming together with an other. The priest and the king coming together in simpatico. This is a good time to create a temple, Aquarian temple. Jupiter in Taurus. Taurus is the papal bull. So you set something into Earth, you want to do it in Taurus season. It's going to be, Taurus gets the job done, and it's hard to move. It sticks into Earth, fixed Earth. So Jupiter being there, something big that we can fix into Earth, something spiritual, something social justice wise. And then Saturn in Pisces, Saturn the priest in Pisces the sign of the priest, the Levites, or the 12th sign. The priest would wear a hat that looks like a fish, Dagon, which is actually the goat fish, I believe, of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. The, the priest is able to, through his magic and his working of the imagination, Pisces, and the emotional realm, Pisces, he could bring out a beautiful temple into earth. Now, temple, change that, that's what Aquarian temple's doing. But your body is your temple, your mind's your temple, your heart's the inner tabernacle of your temple. We could really, those floodwaters of Pisces, Saturn gives structure. So we could, those emotional and creative waves that when they crash in, we could have a system set up like an aqueduct system so that we're feeding our plants, our livestock, a whole town. Aquarius, Pluto. Pluto is going to step out of Aquarius in 3 days back into Capricorn. So this is a time to stick into the matrix, Aquarius, into the collective conscious, Aquarius, something that is of the mind of God, Aquarius. Uranus ruled, Uranus being the higher frequency octave of Mercury, our mind. Mercury is the monkey mind, can be, together with the moon. But if we reach out to the sun, Jupiter, we have a higher mind. Mars, being a spiritual, psychological warrior, so that we're not just running out there to get our head chopped off unwisely. Mars in Aries. The Aries person who just acts before they think. Well, the Scorpio node is helping us in this Venus energy squaring, is taking calculated action, smart warfare. Venus is also the goddess of war. God of war being Mars, the goddess of war. Now sometimes that could be passive aggressive stuff. Venus gone wrong, Libra's gone wrong, Cancer, if when they hold their emotions in too long. Cancer gone bad, temper tantrums. But Venus in Leo, she wants to be treated like a queen. And you know what? Treat yourself like a queen or a king. The warrior priest king is like the energy right now, if you're a man. Or the warrior priestess queen, if you take on the feminine side of life more. So X, Z, Jupiter, Saturn, sextiling, the priest, and the builder of the temple. Jupiter in Taurus it could be overeating, oversleeping, overworking. Jupiter goes overboard. It's like, it could be like Jupiter's like the king who's like at the table with his big cup and a big feast in front of him, and he's drunk and saying stupid things. And Saturn's behind the priest, like really in charge, sober. Saturn and Pisces, that's gonna be a sobering energy. And then as Pluto steps back into Capricorn, that's going to be a deep power into disciplining ourselves. And it could punish us for not disciplining ourselves in the past. Karma, the karma dealer, Saturn. The Dharma ruler, Saturn. The reason why they hold the Sabbath on a Saturday, because it's a powerful planet. Severity. But we could transform that into our advocate rather than our adversary. And sometimes that's what Satan means, is adversary. Sometimes we have to take on the adversarial position to a world that is kafoot, to people with an ideology that is detrimental to the forward progress of humanity in a healthy manner. Well, to those people and to that ideology, I am an adversary. I am a Satan to them. So then that's transforming Satan and making him do your bidding instead of you underneath the foot of the devil. Does the devil exist? If it exists in the mind of one person, then it exists. Then when it exists in the mind of many people, then it's a god of more power. The gods have power because we give them power. Without us, the gods don't exist. We create gods that are real. Jupiter and Saturn, those are the big boys. The big boys are playing in harmony. Let's take advantage of that and do big things. Think bigger. And don't just spend time in the thought, imaginative world of it, but put in the work. Do physical things about it. Set into place physical, actual things. And they will be fruitive for a new creation. A sextile is a 6, is in the nature of Venus. 60-degree angle. So we're fertile. With just a little bit of romancing, we could build a beautiful club for dancing. The horizontal mambo. Why do I always talk about sex? I don't even have that much sex. I know. So let's have a great Venus Frigga Friday. Venus Veneres. Let us venerate all that is good, beautiful, and true. I love you very much.